Hey everyone, Kevin here. What I'd like to do in this video is talk about cooling your mining rig. Overheating and having too much hot air is probably one of the first major tasks that a miner will face. After they've set everything up and they've got all the software going and everything's running, they've probably noticed that there's a lot of hot air coming out and it can cause a lot of problems. You know, it heats up all the air in the room, and that leads to warmer temperatures, hotter temperatures, and a higher temperature causes a lot of problems. For a start, your graphics cards aren't going to last as long if they're in a very warm environment. There's a reason why servers for big computing companies are in a very cooled environment. Computer chips don't like it being too warm. So you need to cool it. And if you do cool your cards, you should see higher hash rates, i.e. more money. So the basics of it are, a graphics card generates heat through the electricity. For example, my 1060s can go up to 120 watts, 1070s 150 watts, 1070 Ti's and 1080s are 180 watts. I believe the AMD 580s are like 190 watts, and the 1080 Ti's are up to 250 watts. That's a lot of electricity. Now, as a miner, you probably will be underpowering them. You put them like 70%, 75% power, even lower. Some people go down to 65, 60. So you won't be generating as much as that. Maybe for 120 watts, you're only generating, say, 80 watts or 85 watts. But it's still a lot of electricity. And the way the graphics cards deal with that is they generate, the heat goes out the back plate, and it also comes out as warm air. And these things can blow out a lot of warm air. In the first few weeks of mining, I hadn't really set up my airflow right. And basically the upstairs of my house was tropical. If I didn't put the heating on downstairs, it was like living in the Arctic. It was freezing. And then when you get to like halfway up the stairs, it was like you had to strip off the jumper and the jacket and put on shorts and t-shirt. It was tropical because I wasn't circulating the airflow, and this is the bigger problem. Now, people talk about cooling your PC and they talk about, you need to have lots of fans and all that. Fans do help. Fans are important, but the biggest problem I think any miner faces is getting rid of that hot air. That's the biggest problem. And exhaust. You need to get rid of the hot air, or it just starts circulating around and it gets hotter and it gets hotter. So I'll take a step back and explain my current situation. I've got an Amazon Basics shelf, 5 levels, but I've got 4 mining rigs on it at this current time. I've got 3 rigs of 8 1060s, and at the top I've got 4 1080 Ti's. So that's my main mining rig, but I've also got 2 1080 Ti's in my main PC, which I've disabled from mining just now. Well, one of them, because I'm recording. Now the cards on the mining rig actually, they run at lower temperatures than the ones in my main PC, and that makes sense. You will see a lot of people, putting like 120mm fans on the mining rigs and all that. I don't think that makes a huge amount of difference. But in a PC, this is where like little case fans can be really helpful, because you're trapping the graphics cards in a small environment. So what I have got my main PC with the 2 1080 Ti's, but behind it I've got another fan, and it can run at 2 speeds, and that can bring temperatures down by about 7 or 8 degrees. It's quite significant. But as far as airflow goes, behind my mining rig, I've got a small window which I keep a little bit open. Behind here, I've got a larger window that cools things a little bit more. Just by the sheer size of it, it lets more air in and out. So I've noticed that even if I keep that window closed, temperatures go up quite a few degrees when I open it. And if I open it quite a large amount, obviously we're in Scotland, it's cool outside, temperatures can go down 4, 5, 6 degrees. But one of the biggest things, improvements I've made to exhaust warm air, all the heat, is to open my loft, open my what you call in North America attic, open up the loft to let all the air go up the stairs and go into the roof. And I'm embarrassed to say I didn't even think of this. It was my friend last night. He says, "Why don't you just open that?" And I was thinking, oh yeah, never thought of that. And the difference that made was unbelievable. Like it went from, like, the room was sometimes uncomfortable to sit in because it was so warm. You could only stay in it so long, and now it's pretty cool. Actually I've got a jumper on. It's pretty cool in here. So that's basically my setup just now. I've got a mining rig. I've got my main PC right next to it, and I've got a fan pointed at it. The fan isn't on just now because I don't. It's quite noisy. Sometimes it's got 2 speeds, but the highest setting is quite noisy. So when recording, I turn it off. So basically, I've got a small window behind the rig, large window there, and a lot of the hot air is going up the stairs via the attic. As far as temperatures go, well, if I bring this up, this is awesome mining. You can see my main PC is disabled, and you can see the temperatures down below. If I can hopefully show you that more. Right, come on, where are we? Right, okay. Right, so I've got, there you go, you should be able to see all that. So there's rig 1, and you can see temperatures go from 64 all the way up to 74. It's about the same there. Rig 3 is higher up. One of those are at 80. Now, I don't have any fans pointing at that rig right now. But that's something that I will be changing. It's changing the pool by the looks of it. So this is the thing, air conditioning in general, unless you get super cheap electricity, it doesn't make sense because it eats into your profits. What most people do, instead of using lots of case fans, small case fans, is just to use regular fans. And that's what I've got here, if you can see it. Right, so this is a 20-inch fan. And yes, let's see if this makes a difference. It's a floor fan and it's 20-inch blade. It's a 20-inch blade, and what I want to do is kind of put it up to my main rig, not my main PC. Now, just a quick thing about airflow. See if you don't get rid of this hot air. Fans don't do anything. They don't really do anything because all they're doing is circulating warm air around, and unless you get that hot air out, it can only do so much. So again, when it comes to cooling your mining rig, exhausts are a big thing. You'll see a lot of people online when you look into mining forums, etc., and what they've got is like air conditioning exhausts, you know, where they'll seal up the window and then they'll have an exhaust, an extractor fan pushing that warm air out. You need to do something like that if heat is a problem. But there's another thing you can do. I've seen someone saying that just by putting a little fan at the window, you can blow a lot of the hot air out. So I'm going to unbox this and I'm going to see, you know, set it up. I'm going to see if it makes a major difference to temperatures, to airflow, and anything like that. And again, as a reminder, if it's cooler, the fans don't have to be pushed as hard, so that's less electricity. The temperatures drop, which should mean a higher hash rate as well. So again, this is very important if you're mining. You want to squeeze out as much money as you can. Right, on that note, let's get this thing opened and I'll set it up and we'll see if it makes a difference. So here it is, guys. This is the fan. It's massive. It's absolutely massive. It's a really good fan. It's a floor fan, so it can tilt all the way around like that and it can go up the way. It is big, but that was something I knew about before I bought it. But you know, it's got a couple of speeds. It's off 1, 2, 3 speeds. It simply isn't practical. Now, the main problem with this is noise level. Now, you can move it around and all that, but even on the slowest speed, I thought you could put it down to a really slow speed and get some airflow, not a lot of noise. That simply isn't the case. I was using my sound meter and it was going anything from between 70, 75 up to 80, 85. It went over 90 decibels at one point. That's insane. That's like an aeroplane taking off. And I went down the stairs. I went to my bedroom. I went down the stairs, and it's still audible. And that's something I can't have. And that's another thing about all this. You know, you want to cool your room, you want to cool your mining area, but you know, depending on your environment, noise will be a big concern. Now, if I had a garage outside and this was running outside at that noise level, it wouldn't be a problem. But you know, inside at home, I can't have that level of noise. Now, the existing fan that I've got, I can't really hear in the next room, that little portable fan. So, as far as the noise levels goes, it's unacceptable. But the thing is, airflow is okay. It's not amazing either. So I think I'll maybe have to go for a more expensive model, one that gives you more airflow and you know, isn't as loud. It definitely, I'm definitely disappointed with that, to be honest. But you know, I bought it from Amazon, so I should be able to return it. It's no problem there. So yes, about mining rigs. There is a kind of, you do need to try and find a balance. You need to try and find a sweet spot, and you do need to try and work in your environment. In my room, I've got my mining rig just now, and because I record here and because I work here, I want it cool. I want to keep everything cool, but I don't want noise either. And that thing, you know, it was generating airflow, but it was way too noisy, and it wasn't producing enough airflow to justify that noise. So there is a kind of sweet spot between all this, but I think the key thing in all this is exhausting the warm air. That's if I had to close my windows right now and close the door, I would be dripping with sweat because the warm air wouldn't be going out the room, and that's something that you need to think about. As I said, you know, you can get case fans. You'll see a lot of mining rigs and they'll have like small 120mm case fans. Now that is one route to go down, but it is worth noting that it's not as effective generally. I was speaking to my friend Mark about it. He bought about 5 or 6 120mm fans. He put them along his GPUs and had them, you know, cooling the system down, cooling the cards down, and he says he didn't see any difference in temperature. Now that might be because of his room, might be where the mining rig is positioned, I'm not sure. But I would say in general, a fan system, you know, where you're exhausting heat is a little bit better. As I said, you can put a fan at the window and exhaust. You can exhaust the air that way as well. I did check the temperatures for this fan, and I was seeing, you know, like 2 or 3 degrees being knocked down. But again, it's a balancing act. 2 or 3 degrees for that level of noise, it just isn't acceptable. So I will be addressing this issue again in the future, guys. I'm not claiming to be an expert on this. I'm certainly, in the whole cooling aspect, I would still say I'm a beginner, but I have been reading a lot about it. The key things are, you know, you want to get rid of that hot air. If you're, you know, you've got your mining rig in an industrial kind of setup, a garage, a shed, or, you know, somewhere where you're not living a lot, you're not operating, noise isn't a concern. But I think for the rest of us, I think for the majority of people, you know, you're doing it in a place where you will be working and living your home, and this is where noise comes in, and you need to, you know, try and cool the fans, cool the graphics cards, and not generate too much noise. So you want to exhaust the hot air. You want to try and cool things and circulate airflow a little bit better. One of the key things that I saw with somebody saying is, you know, if you can put your graphics cards in your setup at a window, you open the window a little bit and you put a fan before it, so the fan would blow air towards the graphics cards and it would exhaust the heat out. Whether that works or not, I mean, I put it at the window and I saw maybe a degree or two of a change, but it wasn't anything significant. But this is something I need to tweak, I need to tinker with, I need to change things around and try and get the optimal setting for my room, for my windows, for my setup. So guys, I know I haven't given any conclusive answers to cooling your mining rig in this, but I didn't want to claim to be this or that, because there's a lot of, I've seen a few miners and they've said this is the best solution, and then you see someone else saying the opposite. So I don't want to claim to be anything that I'm not. So I'm going to look into this subject more. I'm going to maybe try a different fan, and if I learn anything more, I'll let you guys know. But again, the key thing, remember, airflow is key. You really do want to exhaust as much hot air as possible, and it's maybe not a problem if you only got a couple of cards, but when you go to like over a dozen cards or so, the volume of hot air going into your room, you know, it presents a problem, and you need to get that hot air out of the room. If not, it keeps circulating, temperatures go up, money goes down, and that's bad. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope I've given you some food for thought. Let me know what you think about this. If you're a miner yourself, or you're just someone with experience in this area, please do leave a comment. Please do share your advice with others below. I'll take it on board. And until next time, thanks for watching. Take care. Have a good one.